Okay, welcome back everybody. Today we have got an unboxing video, so stick with it and let's see what we've got in the box. Now, this is a tool that I've been wanting to get for a while, and it has arrived, so we're going to get it open, see what's in it. This is the Triton thicknesser. I think I paid £300, I think it was £300, £304 with delivery from Amazon. So I think, I mean, they were as much as £400 in different places, so I believe the stock is quite limited on them. So they can pretty much charge what they like, can't they? So, and what I am going to be doing, I'm going to be taking it out of the box, and then we're going to be putting it together, and we're going to put all these pieces of timber through for another project. See how good it is. So let's have it. Instructions. We'll save them for later. In the top here we have the handle. I take it that'll be the handle for winding down for the thickness. We'll put that to one side for a moment. Right. Okay. It says on the top, do not use roller as lifting handle. Use the grips provided. So I'll take it. And this is, what is it? It's quite heavy. 29 kilos, so it's pretty heavy. What I'll do, I'll take it off here, put it on the floor, and then we'll get it back up after. So, out of the box. Right, okay, is there anything else in the box? Anything underneath? Nothing, so that's the box empty. Okay. What have we got here? Dust extraction guard. So we'll put that down there. Hey up, I just chucked something. Ah, there we go. 2 small screws in there as well. They will be for okay, you don't need to see my face anymore. So, first of all, let's try and get rid of a few little parts. Let's get the handle on. There's no screws in there. I am going to turn it around for you in a minute. If I can get into it. Rubber bands. Come on, Scott, pull yourself together. It's a rubber band. Like even the easiest things look difficult. Right, okay. It looks to me like that just slots on. Let's have a look. Is there a cap on the end? Oh no, 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 no. We have got, if we take that cap off the end, we've got a screw that requires screwing into the top. So we just get some Allen keys out. What size are we? There we go. There's only one way that it can go on, so very simple that. Just pinch him off. I do have a tendency to over tighten things and ruin threads and round things off, but on this I'm not going to. There's just a little bit, there's just enough. So I'm going to turn it round now. Let's move this dust extraction part out of the way for a second. Let's pop the cap back on there so we don't lose that. I'm going to turn it around and let you have a look at it. Is there anything else in the bag? Nothing else in the bag. The amount of boxes in this place is unreal. 2 screws there for that. So this is what we're working with. It feels like a really well built bit of kit, to be honest with you. It's got a UK and EU plug adapter, so that's good. If you are, or is it? I'm sure there's a way that comes out of there, or not, maybe not. Oh yeah, it says on the back there. If you do want to convert it from UK to EU, take the cover off, take the 2 screws off, take that off, away you go. So we're not going to bother because we are in the UK. Sunny Stoke-on-Trent. Weather is grim. Right, we have also got a little Allen key there on the back, which I would assume is for the parts. Little Allen key there, which is the right size, I would have said, for that. Yes, so that's a handy device with the machine, so we'll keep that out because we will probably need that again. Right, the table comes down as such. What are these for? I do know what these are for because I have looked at another video before, and these comes with 2 magnets. 2 magnets. They are for removing the blade when the blade becomes blunt and you need to change that. So let me just have a quick look at the instructions to make sure we're not forgetting anything. The instructions are pretty good, well illustrated, step by step. So there is a picture of the two magnets placed in the back where the Allen key fits. So I'm just going to turn it around and show you that. Let's lift this table up a minute. Out the way. Two positions there. There we go. And then the Allen key that came supplied with it just pops straight on there. Is that where we had it? Let's have a look. Can't even remember, I only took it off 2 seconds ago. It does show you. There is the place for it, number 15. Okay. So I think the rest of it is just operations and adjustments. And what we want to check out, let's just have a quick look. So we'll turn it around for you. It is a heavy piece of kit. I'm going to assume that this is the in feed, with that being on there. I would like to know where the dust extraction goes. Let's have a quick look. Main instructions. Aha, it's on the back, so you can either have it, there we go, let's turn it around again. Right, that's where the dust extraction goes. You've got two holes to receive the screws. You can either have it feeding out to the left, so it'll splay the chips out to the left, or you can have it out to the right. So whichever you've got, wherever you've got your dust extraction in your workshop, or wherever you go and have it, that's quite a nifty little feature. So you can actually have it anywhere. If you would be having it stationary on a desk, on a workbench or something like that, and you had your hoses coming down, you could keep that permanently fixed if it was going to be in a fixed position. But I'm not going to have this in a fixed position. I'm going to have it moving around all the time, different lengths and different things. I am limited with space in this workshop. It's only 20 by 10, and behind me that way, you've got mixers, bikes, and all sorts. So what we're going to do is we're going to put that on there now. So let's just think about it. If I'm going to be running it through that way, I'm going to want the chips coming out the other way, because when I do the demonstration in a minute, that'll become quite clear. It's a lovely piece of kit. Lovely piece of kit. Really pleased with that, to be honest with you. It is. Let's just give you the. I will leave all the information in the description afterwards. But I don't think there's not a lot to put together on it, to be honest with you. There's no other parts. Obviously, the cutter head's obviously inside, which it says here, switch off. It says switch the tool off and unplug the power source. Loosen and remove the screws from the blade guard, then remove the guard. Number 3, carefully rotate the cutter head towards you until it locks into position. Loosen and remove 6 screws located on the jib. Use 2 magnets, which are these 2 magnets. You don't want your fingers anywhere near that blade, because it will just cut straight through you before you've even known about it. It says to use the 2 magnets to remove the jib, then the blade from the cutter head. Replace the blade using the magnets. Use the pins located on both sides to position the blade properly. Replace the jib over the blade using the magnets. Secure the jib in position using 6 screws. To reach the second blade, depress the latch on the left side of the cutter head. We're not going to mess about with that because it's not time to change it, but there is a diagram. There is a diagram on there that it shows you what the jib is, where the magnets are, with the blades, the pins, the cutter head, the latch. So it's dummy proof basically. So yeah, I'm just going to double check before I go any further to make sure all the screws that I can see in front of me are, that's a different one. Everything looks in order. Nothing seems to be amiss. So what I'm going to do, get that fag on again. Right, we're going to put the dust extraction. Come on, you. Where is it? There we go. 2 screws. So in the whole build, you've literally got the handle to put on, which is straight on, straight off. You take that rubber cap off the end, pull that off, tighten it down, that locates it. Straightforward, very simple setup, very pleased with it, because usually everything else that you get these days, you have to spend a week putting it together before you can actually use it. The other tool review that I'm going to do is on that Axminster Trade bandsaw. If there are any people out there that do want to see that, just let me know in the comments of the if you want to see the full setup or what you want to see on it, because there is quite a bit involved in it. To get a bandsaw running correctly, you do need to make sure that you do fine tune it, or else it just won't work properly. So let's get these 2 screws in here. It has got a foam gasket in between it, in between the machine and the dust extraction piece itself. So there's no need to over tighten it. Once you've got that seal there, you're away. I always over tighten everything. I've already said that, haven't I? But I'm trying to behave myself and do things a little bit differently, because I wreck things, waste my money, wreck things, and then I buy it again and then think to myself, right, I'll do it properly this time, and I could have done it properly the first time. Rushing, over eager to get the project started. So that is right. Hold on. One thing I do want to check. So that is the way that I am going to be using it, like that. So now the dust extraction is on the left side at the back, so I'm going to be feeding it in this way. I've got all my gauges, my measurements down here. I've got my handle there. I'm right-handed, so I'm going to be using my right hand for that. I mean, whichever way you prefer to work. So now what I do want to check for is the bed alignment with the 2 two outers, whatever they called, outers. They're not outers. What they called, table extension, bed extension, whatever you want to call it. And we do have on the bottom two nuts here, which they do seem like they've been set. You've got you've got two adjustments on each side, so if it is slightly out, not level, which we'll check in a minute with the level to make sure there's no light in between. See if we can eliminate that snipe. We don't want the snipe on, do we? So I'll get it down, and in fact, no, I won't get it down. What I'll do first is I'll take this cover off, wind, so that's down. So we want to come up. So if we want to come up, you turn it clockwise. You can see that that's coming right the way up. And this has got a 150 marked. Well, you've got 160, but I wouldn't be going that high. I think it cuts 317 mil from side to side and 150 mil depth. So let's just have a quick look just to confirm that. This is going to be plenty for me. I don't and obviously the wider the piece of stock that you've got going through at one time, obviously you're going to want to not take it down in full increments. We will have a look at that as well in a minute to see how many turns for how much you were taking off. Yeah. I don't know if any of you saw that that first video the other day of that little vase. Well, I say it's a little vase, it's more like a miniature little pot, but it was my first resin casting in the pressure pot, so I didn't want to waste the resin because it's mega expensive and I didn't know what the outcome was going to be with it. Now I feel a bit more confident with it. I can actually make the molds bigger, which I am going to be getting one of them in the pressure pot today or tomorrow. I can't see that. I'm going to have a look in this pot here. I think it is. I think it's 317. 317. It says, it's here on the side. It says max planing. It is, the voltage is 220 to 240. The power, it's 1100 watts. Cuts per minute, 17500. Planing height, 3.2 millimeters. So that would be the lowest that you could actually plane to of it coming down to the bed. Table size is 317 by 600, so it's 317 wide by 600 long. So don't get confused and think that you can buy this and put a 600 piece through, because you can't. Max planing width is 317. So yeah, let's get this plastic off this bed. It would be a good idea as well, once you've got this plastic off this bed here, would probably be to give it a good clean off and put some machine wax on it, just so it gives you a really nice sliding workable surface. Well, what I am going to do is up. Let's take it all the way up. This table's probably not the best for doing it on, not very solid, but there we go. So we're going clockwise. It does say it has got an arrow on it pointing for up and down. So just so we can get in here and have a look a little bit better. Like anything, the plastic would actually definitely, oh there we go. I was going to say the plastic, I was going to start cursing then. There is a little bit of spillage of oil or something in here. It's probably just a bit of grease where it's been put together on the pistons, on the rods that take it up and down. So let's have a look. You've got 4 screws either side that hold the plate on the bottom. So if you do want to get that out, the rest of it, perhaps should have cut it really. But I'm not too fussed about that at the moment. Not for demonstration purposes, it's good enough. So we'll be back to you in a minute when I've got it down on the floor and we start to do some cutting with it. One thing I did forget, which I've just realised that I didn't do, is just check the bed either side, the on table and the off table. Now I looked with the level on this side. Now on the centre the bed is flat with the level, and you've got a gap in between the on table and the edge, so it's dipping down slightly on that corner. Now this side it wasn't touching the bed at all. So what there is on the sides, there's some small adjustment screws on each side just to raise the bed slightly up or down, just to get it right. So I'm not quite sure whether it was that side that was correct or it was this side that's correct. So what I've done is I've just unloosened these 2 screws here and I've just mirrored what's going on the other side. So now the on table here is touching the edge of the level. It's flat across the main bed in the center, and the off table on the other end is touching the same as it is on the front of the level here. So it's kind of, we've got an arc slightly on the on plate and the off plate, and this one here we have slightly, what I will do, slightly adjust that just so as we've got the same. Let's undo both screws. So that's, we'll lock that off there. Lock that one off there. Okay, we've got exactly the same there, and we've got exactly the same there. So if we have got any sniping problems, what I'll do, once I've run the piece through, we can actually have a look at the piece of timber and then we'll have a look at the snipe. What I have noticed on the bed, there is a bit of damage on the bed here and here. Looks like something's dug into it. So not very happy about that, but I don't think it's going to affect the overall performance. By the time I've finished, I'll probably drop it, or I'll probably knock it over and I'll probably wreck it anyway. So just the way I roll. So yeah, so let's get it down and let's run some timber through it. Okay, before we actually go any further, it does say on here 1 revolution equals 1.6 millimeters, 1/16 of an inch. So 1 full revolution, that's what that equals, 1.6 millimeters or 1/16 of an inch, whichever way you want to work it out. So what I'm going to do first, because I don't want to put no excess stress on the blades. I mean, I am cutting hardwoods. I've got Irocco, I've got oak, I've got walnut, and I've got cherry. So I'm going to do all 4, and we're going to see the results of all 4 done after I've done the test. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to start it off first of all with the cutters slightly raised, so as I know that I'm not going to be taking too much. I'm not sure how accurate this gauge is yet until I've worked it out, and until I can gauge the thickness. Once I've got the required thickness of the timber, then I will then measure that, reference it towards the machine, the gauge on here, see if there's any minor adjustments that need doing. That's when I'll do that after. So no machine's going to be set up absolutely bang on 100% when you get it out of the box. There's always going to be little bits and bobs that you've got to tweak around with to get them to your preferred working order. So I am using the Air Shield Pro, the Trend Air Shield Pro. This is a game changer, and I'm not saying that light-heartedly. This is brilliant. The other day I was turning on the lathe with a piece of oak and a piece about 3 inches by about 10 mil came off it, and it hit me smack bang straight where my eyes are. If I wasn't wearing that and I was wearing normal safety glasses, it would have either hit me on the nose or in the eye. Well, not in the eye because I've had my glasses on, but in the nose or in the forehead or in the cheek. But when that's spinning at 1200 RPM and something like that comes off, then you've got to be wearing the correct safety equipment. This doesn't steam up. Air flows in through the top and blows the nice cooled air down through your face. So it's brilliant. I'm going to be doing a tool review on that anyway, so that's a different day. So we've got the what we calling it, the hoover in for the chips. I'm just going to put some tape around there just to try and eliminate it a little bit better. We'll see how good the dust extraction kit is. Okay, that's sealed. I'll turn my mask on because I'm steaming up. Let's go. thought to myself, that dust extraction doesn't seem to be working very well. I didn't turn it on. So, let's try it again, but let's just show you quickly. Turn that mask off. I tell you what an absolute finish that we've got with that. I mean, we've got a touch of snipe here on the end. Nothing there. We've got a touch that, to be honest with you, that's probably the timber. It probably needs running through again. Actually, I'll run it through again and see what we've got. This time with the dust extraction on, or else my workshop's going to be covered. There we go. Right, let's try it again. Well, that worked a hell of a lot better when I had my little shop hoover on. But that is absolutely beautiful. That surface there is absolutely beautiful. I don't know if you can see that, but what an absolute job that is. You can see a little impression there where the roller's taking it through, but that's nothing major. That's not going to upset me, nothing. But that is gorgeous. So, that is Irocco, and that's the first piece. Let's try a piece of walnut. Let's get the walnut. Now, you can see with this walnut, you can see how dirty it is. Look how filthy dirty that is. So what we'll do now, we'll run that through. And then, so we'll go back up. Not quite sure how many revolutions I actually went down to get that the way that I wanted it, but that's way too deep. Okay. I'm gonna go with that. I'm gonna go with that one. Let's make sure we've got everything turned on. Face mask on. Should be wearing ear protection as well, really. But right, okay. That's the lathe. Let's turn this back on. Okay, let's have another look at this now. Well, I must say, just take a look at that. That is absolutely beautiful. You can see what it was like just... I mean, it hasn't taken it 100% I want it, but that'll be absolutely perfect for me to glue together. That's lovely and flat. It's got rid of the dirt. That is absolutely brilliant. I mean, the snipe in that you've got at the end, slightly there. I mean, nothing that wouldn't sand out with a bit of 180 grit paper in 2 seconds. So that is absolutely beautiful. What I'm going to do now, I've got a piece of oak. Now you can see how much that is warped. It's crowned in, if you can see that. It's not great at all, but it's quite flat. It is quite flat, not going through the bed. Well, there we go. Let's go up. Let's go up quite a bit. This is going to require quite a bit more, I think. Right, okay. Let's have a look. We're way up there. This is going to take quite a few passes, I think, to get this right. Okay, let's try this. And another thing, it does say, do not cut deeper than 2.4 millimeters or plain materials shorter than 380 millimeters, which is 15 inches in length. So these are 400. Now I didn't know that until I just quickly looked at it. I skipped over that part, so I would presume if you're planing anything smaller than that, it will obviously affect it with the on-off rollers, the on-off beds, with the pressure of the cutting blade. So you probably would get a lot more snipe. So you need that even amount of material going through at one time, so that as it's coming off the off plate, it's got more stability, so it's not giving you that extra snipe. But I might be wrong. That might not be the reason for it. But I would have thought so. So let's go with this this oak. But first impressions, absolutely brilliant bit of kit. Fantastic bit of kit, actually. I don't know how long it's going to be before the blades become dull and they need changing. I'm not quite sure how much they cost. So we'll perhaps do another review on that another time. So let's do these last two pieces of wood, and we can see the finishes of them.
Okay. Now you can see what kind of shape that was in beforehand. And now look at it. I mean, it's not a planer, it is only a thicknesser really. But my lord, what a job that's done of that. That is phenomenal. And look at that. Look at the finish that it's put on there. Absolutely amazing. That is so smooth, it's untrue. Right. I've got another piece of timber here that is well out of shape. You can see that it's bent all over the place. It's cupped there in the middle. So providing, take this mask off a minute, providing that your timber that you're putting through is flat and it's not rocking about, which I looked at this earlier. I put it on the floor. This floor's level. I put it on the floor. There's a slight bit of rock in it, a slight bit. What you can do with that is you can put a shim under one end to make it so that there's no rock in it. But for what it is there, I'm just going to put it through. I mean, because for what I need for this timber, it hasn't got to be absolutely perfect. It just needed all the crap taken off it, to be honest. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it back up again. There we go, that's going to touch. And we'll pass this through and then we'll have a look at all 4 pieces. And then those 4 pieces are ready for my next project. Kill 2 birds with 1 stone, as they say. Okay. Okay. Oh, it's hot in here. I've got that fire on next to me doing this with a mask on, and it's 25.3 degrees in here. Oh, and that's just a little small 5 kilowatt burner. But, right, shall we go over to the table and have a look and see what we've got? Right, what we have here, we'll go from the order in which we did them. I have got the calipers here, and I'm going to be checking it in various spots to see exactly how well the machine performed. So this, first of all, I know they're about 50 mil, so I'm going to set them at 45 mil, and we're going to see exactly what thickness we're left with all around. Right, we've got, I don't know if you can see that there, 43.44. So let's check it there. So we had 43.44. Okay. 43.96. And here 43.74. So $44.16. Is that, oh sorry, no, 43.91. 43.92. 43.92. So that piece there now is pretty much absolutely bang on. That was the iRocco. Let's go with, you can see on the side, you can see all the dirt and all the muck that was on the side of these pieces before I started. I mean, this could probably do with another pass because there's still a bit of rubbish on there. But I mean, come on, just check the grain out in that. How much do you just love that? That's walnut, American black walnut that is. So let's just give it a quick test. And these will do perfect for my projects, these will. Right, okay, we've got 49.15. 49.14. $49.46, $49.36. I mean, if you're that fussy about thousandths of a millimeter or hundreds of a millimeter, what, 4927. $49.74. 4923. So that is the walnut. Beautiful. A little bit of snipe on the end there. Nothing major. It's not enough for me to be messing about with the machine itself and making things worse or taking things apart. Just not worth it for me. I don't need to be that precise. I mean, I don't need to be within a thousandth of a millimeter or a hundredth of a millimeter. As long as it's within a millimeter, I'm good with that. Or yeah, so that's 47.5857. Let's check it this end. So that's 47.44. This is the cherry. 47.65. 47.60. So there's like, you know what it is yourself. It's hundreds, thousandths of a millimeter that we're talking difference. 47.43. I mean, it's slight. So what was it? 47.43. 47.51. You get 47.40. That's the cherry. Oh, just take a look, take a turn at the actual look of the timber as well. It's bloody gorgeous. Voila, bloody gorgeousimo. I don't know if that's a word, but we'll go with it. Gorgeousimo. Okay, let's have a look at this. This is American oak, American white oak, I think it is. And we've got 49.56, 49.45, 49.14. I mean, this was really horrendous. This was a horrendous piece of wood. I mean, I can't even believe I let them sell me this at the warehouse where I had it from. But I got a very good deal. So 49.55, 49.38, 49.24. So as we could probably see, as we've been coming down the piece of wood, it's perhaps been a little bit shorter. So what I will do in the future is I will probably just have a little bit of a mess about with it. But for that much, you're talking micro adjustments. And for £304 from Amazon delivered, I don't think you can go wrong. So what we're saying about this Triton thicknesser is that, in my opinion, I've never owned a planer thicknesser before. Now, for me to put a piece of timber through that was that badly bowed and cut and twisted, for me, if I can get it through that thicknesser with a few passes, no manual work, just feed it through, turn the knob. Absolutely brilliant. Take my hat off to Triton for producing a product like that for that price. I think that is well worth the money. I mean, if anybody else has got any hints or tips on how this should be set up, or to do that micro adjustment, you can just see, I've showed you with the calipers on there. In my eyes, that is good enough. And the finish on it, the snipe that I can see on there, I mean, I perhaps should have got a crayon or something that I could have showed you the snipe with better. But for you to look at it, and then just to perhaps, if you were using it for best work, I'm going to be sticking that together and putting it on the lathe, cutting it down, sticking it together. So it's not even like it only needs to be good enough to glue together. So as I've got a seamless joint, and I haven't got glue joint gaps in it. That's all I want it for. Another little project. But that for me is probably one of the best £304 I think I've spent in this workshop. I mean, what an absolute belting piece of kit. If anybody else does not agree with me, or who's got this and they are not producing the same results that I've just produced with those 4 stacks of timber, these 4 pieces of timber, then I don't know. I mean, but look at that. They're absolutely flat to each other. Now, for me, I can't believe that, actually. That oak was really bad. I did not think that was going to produce what it did for me on there. So, no more waffling on about it. You can make your own mind up. You've seen the results, you've seen how it works, you've seen how it's set up, and that's another thing, the setup of it. 1 screw in the handle for winding it down, 2 small screws for the dust extraction port at the back, and micro adjustments for the on-off tables, and that is it. I mean, one thing, I mean, there's a bit of a dent in the bed which I don't know whether or not they've done that by putting it down too much, or whether it's been dropped in the box. I think this has been dropped in the box, because when I received it, well, actually, when I received it, this is the top part that it came in. The bottom part is actually, I'll just show you. I'll show you now. And there's only one way that this can happen, in my eyes. Come on, you bloody thing. Wake me up before you go. Leave me hanging on a line of yo-yo. I don't know the bloody words. Right, I've got it. Sorry about that. I'm back. I'm coming. There we go. Look at the damage there on the polystyrene. It's been dropped, no doubt. This machine has been dropped. Definitely. Look, that doesn't just happen just like that. That's straight out of the box. You've just seen me, well, you've just heard me getting it out of the box. You saw how I got it out earlier. So that, to me, it's perhaps been dropped in transit, DPD, maybe, I don't know, whoever. But it works. I didn't check the gauge on it to see how true that was. But you can all do that yourself. You can do that yourself. But the DeWalt thicknesses, the Ryobis, you've got the Makitas, you're talking a lot of money. A lot of money. You get what you can afford at the time. Now, I don't want something that's going to be costing me an absolute fortune that I'm going to have to keep going. Do you know what I mean? I'm not doing it. I'm not using it for like staying at home in my workshop, and it's going to be used once in a blue moon, and it's going to produce those results for me. I'm well happy. So Triton, hats off, brilliant piece of kit, heavy, robust, well made, does not rattle about. You can see that it's only on a little hop up here. I mean, you could screw it down to a workbench, you could micro adjust it. This is an investment for me of 2021. So if you've got any comments on this, leave them down below. I will leave a description of this Triton thicknesser, where I had it from, but I can tell you now, I had it from Amazon. You can have a look through all the different sites. Amazon was the cheapest, £304 delivered, £299, and then they put an extra 4 or 5 quid on top. So I'm well happy. If you haven't, if you've only just checked in and seen me doing this tool review, or you've not seen me before, go over to my channel, Scott Challoner Wood Turning. You'll see all the different kinds of things that I've been getting up to. Only very small projects at the moment, that I have done on other videos. Learning the tools of the lathe and how they cut, getting your confidence up with a machine that's spinning at like 2,000 RPMs. I've never ever used a lathe before these videos before. I have never turned acrylics, I've never done wood turning, I've never had a lesson on it, and that's how easy it is for you guys to actually, in this lockdown, what we're in at the minute, there's nothing to do. You can't do anything. I'm lucky, I'm fortunate, I built myself a workshop about 5 or 6 years ago to house all my tools, because I just had to get them out of the house. So that's another one. If anybody wants to see what I've done in the house, the renovations that I've done in there, then hit me up in the comments, let me know what you think. If you want, leave me a thumbs up, I'd appreciate that. Leave me a thumbs down, and put a comment in and tell me why you're putting the thumbs down. Can't work with a thumbs down with no comment. Brain dead. You guys out there that are putting those comments on, thumbs down, work with me so I can work with you, so I can improve the content. You'll probably see from my first video that I wasn't very confident. Now I'm still not overly confident. It takes me a bit of getting used to and get it once you got in front of the camera. But as you can see, once I'm in front of the camera, you sort of stop me talking, so I am going to go anyway. Leave me a like, leave me a thumbs up if you will. That's much appreciated. Fill out my channel and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Happy days, happy Saturday. Absolutely throwing it down with rain outside, but what can you do? This is what you can do. Review, 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 review. Keep it easy. Nice and easy. Thanks for watching.